Waffles Perfect. It's more of a multi-grain. So if you have a problem with gluten, then you might not want them. But I will put corn flour, whole wheat flour, and then rolled oats. The majority is rolled oats. So if you look on the recipe, Waffles Perfect, hopefully you've got them all. Okay. So I start off with 1 cup of water in my blender, and then 1/3 of a cup of nuts. The blender's going to chop them up. And then 5 pitted dates, and I've chopped the dates as well. So that says the first 5 ingredients. So we need the vanilla, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm using Himalayan pink salt. It's supposed to be more healthful for you. And then it says to process that until smooth. So I will put the lid on it. It says to process them until blended. And if you've got a smaller blender than what I've got, then you might want to divvy it up into sections before you do it all. I put pecans in them. I put pecans. Are you allergic to pecans? Or I know someone's allergic to cashews. It does say optional for nuts, but the pecans give it some oil for cooking in the thing, in iron there. Okay, so then it wants 3 more cups of water. And then it wants 2 cups of oats. And 3/4 cups of corn flour and 3/4 cups of whole wheat flour. Probably should have put my water in last, but got this little mound of flour here. So scrape it down. I won't mute it again unless I need to make more. So. Okay, so once that's all blended, then I pour it into this large measuring cup. Got to get this out of here first. We're able to see what a mixture, it will thicken up because of the flour and the oats. Okay, my waffle iron is already heated. This gets pretty thick. I don't know if you can switch it. As it sits, it will get thicker, but it's ready to pour in the iron right now. So I will do that. And I tried this with the same recipe, but it's not my iron, so it didn't work out. It burned the bottom, but the top part didn't seem to cook. Now, if you have like a flat iron, flat waffle iron, that's fine. And I found out that this recipe works very well with this Belgian waffle. So. Feel all the different crevices, and then I'll turn that over and set my timer for about 12 minutes. Works good for this one, and gets them nice and brown. And this is what they look like. And I'll keep these in the oven, and we can each have a quarter piece. So what do you do with this many waffles, right? So this would have made this recipe would have made five of these things. So each one will get a quarter of them. So what do you do with them when you're cooking up a whole batch and stuff like that? So what I do is I put them in once they've cooled, baked and then cooled, I put them in like a Ziploc bag, a gallon-sized Ziploc bag. I quarter them up, and then I just stick them in there, lay them in there, and put them in the fridge. And so every morning when I want toast, well, no, I got a waffle instead of a toast. Okay. And so instead of that butter and the maple syrup and all that fattening stuff and things like that, we have got options for you. There's the berry sauces there, the blueberry sauces there, the peach sauce, and and then also the berry topping. Now the three, it's supposed to, and all of them take cornstarch or berries, so you can do any berry that you want, fresh fruit. I even chop up bananas and then mash them in there, stuff like that. Or you can spread them with peanut butter or almond butter or things like that, just so you don't have that maple syrup, that lot of maple syrup and stuff like that.
How do you reheat that? In the toaster? When you say
Yeah, I put it in the microwave for probably less than 30 seconds. Or you can put it, if you've got a toaster that has a defrost button on it, you can put it in your toaster. Yeah, air fryer, whatever toast it. I put it in the microwave. Darren.
You mentioned that you put them in the fridge, but I believe you put them in the freezer.
Yeah, I put them in the freezer. put them in the freezer, and so the next morning I've got 1/4 of one that's solid and bring it out. Okay, so if you want to look at your berry sauces, this is a freezer-friendly fruit jam that I made. So I had a layer of frozen cherries and then a layer of triple berries, which would be blueberries, strawberries, and I think raspberries. I just got them from the store. And what it says, to grind up 4 tablespoons of chia seeds. And when you grind it, you need to use a coffee grinder. You can't put it in a blender. You need like a coffee bean grinder. It's one of those little small ones and stuff like that. Put a 1/4 cup in there and just press the button, and it'll whir it down into fine things. And trust me, you want to do that, because I forgot the recipe, and then I ended up not grinding them, and so I had pretty chunky, seedy jam and stuff like that. Okay, so you put that in the, just let all of that thaw, stir it around and let all of it thaw in the refrigerator for 8 to 10 hours. So I started this morning, so at 8 o'clock, or at 6 o'clock, and so it's been setting for 8 hours there. And then it says take a potato masher, or you can process it in a blender. Sweeten it with sugar if you need to, and then cover and refrigerate until thicken about 2 or 3 hours. And then adjust consistency if you want. So this is a nice topping for jam. I need to mash it some more because the cherries are not mashing. And the strawberries were big, so they're not mashing very much. And sometimes I get a whole blueberry in there too, and that's not mashing. So I'll keep mashing on it and stuff like that. Hopefully it's a good topping for your waffle as well. Or it's a topping for bread, toast, like if you have toast and then peanut butter, and this is a nice jam for it as well. And all it is fruit and chia seeds. Chia seeds are good for you, right? So we don't want to eat things that are good for us anymore, do we? So, okay. Now I think Bian is next. Bian is next, and she is going to demonstrate chia pudding. So you're gonna have some chia today. Let me give you the mic.
Thank you, Ms. Shelley. Hello, everybody. Welcome, and thank you for being here with us today during this cooking class. So the recipe that I would like to share with you is chia pudding. I know that sometimes when people hear about chia seeds, they might feel a little intimidated. So how many of you know how the chia seeds looks like? I see most of the people, but I see some people saying no, that they haven't seen them. So they have a very particular appearance, but it's hard to miss when you go shopping for it, you know, because that distinctive color and the size is just very unique for this type of seeds. So for this recipe, actually it's one of the easiest recipes that you will ever make. For this recipe, you only have like 3 ingredients, and you can make so many variations of it. You know, you can add different toppings and nuts, you know, for to give a special look to the recipe. So in today's recipe, so we have here some chia seeds, and you can get them at Walmart. You can get them in different stores. I have a brand here that I got this at Ross, and you can find them also at Marshall's too. So many stores are, you know, when they have that special like natural foods, you will find chia seeds pretty much everywhere. And then I have some walnuts for the toppings and some strawberries. And then I'll use today for the recipe almond milk. This one has a little bit of vanilla in it, but you know, if you don't want to use vanilla, that's optional. Also, if you don't want to use regular almond milk, you can use unsweetened almond milk. It will have fewer calories too, so it will make it even healthier. And also, as a sweetener, you can use the agave nectar, which is completely organic. So one thing that I wanted to share with you also for this recipe is that the nutritional value of the chia seeds, it doesn't compare with most of the things that we usually eat. So Michelle was just talking about, you know, the use of chia seeds in her recipe. But when you add this to your daily diet, you will be receiving a very high value of omega-3. Just 1 ounce of chia seeds, it has like around 5 grams of omega-3. And that's one of the main ingredients and nutrients for brain health. Also, you will find in it fiber, like in this package, just one portion of the chia seeds, it has like 8 grams of fiber. It doesn't have any sugar in it. You also have like 5 grams of protein. And then you have also iron, calcium, and potassium. So it's a very nutritional value food, and it's just full of many of those important components for your daily diet. So going then to the recipe, so very simple. So you will have a bowl, you use a bowl for the recipe, and in the bowl you will mix 1/4 cup, 1/4 of chia seeds, and then you will add to that 1 cup of the almond milk. Then you will use a whisk, a balloon whisk, to mix it, to stir it up. But some people may use a fork, and it's not that you can't, but it's better if you can use a balloon whisker. And then you will mix it. So why do they recommend this type of whisk? Because, you know, when you use a fork, the problem is that sometimes you won't have a good mixture of the ingredients. And then for this recipe, you don't want to have any clumps. That's the main thing that you want to avoid. So you will mix the ingredients. I'm going to just mix the milk and the chia seeds for now. And then in a few seconds, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of the agave nectar. So when you prepare this recipe, it only takes like 5 minutes to prepare this. The hard work, it will be done by your refrigerator, because then you have to put it away at least for 5 to even 10 hours, or even keep it overnight. So I'm adding the tablespoon of the agave nectar. And the recipe calls for that amount, but certainly you can use a little bit more if you need to. It depends on how sweet your tooth is. You know, some people really enjoy eating sweets. We don't encourage to overload yourself with sugar, but for this recipe, you really don't need that much of, you know, of sweeteners in order to have like a good flavor and a good taste for this recipe. So I'm mixing the ingredients, and then once they are mixed, we can wait 10 minutes. We will put this for 10 minutes away, just to see the consistency of the recipe. It will look very creamy, it will look very soft. And then after that, it needs to go back in the refrigerator for then the final part of the process, which is like the several hours, at least 2 to 3 hours. So at this point, I'm just gonna stop here. I'm gonna cover the pudding, and then in 10 minutes or so, we'll see how it looks. and then we'll conclude with the final part of the recipe. Thank you. Michelle?
I have a quick question before you put that away. Yes.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay? We're going to make scrambled tofu, which is kind of like scrambled eggs with no cholesterol. So that's a win-win right there. And what's nice about this is a real savory dish. And so we're going to be having some savory with some sweet, and you're in for a real treat. So I wanted to start off by showing you what the basis of this dish is. It's tofu. So if you've ever been to the deli section, is usually where I see it, in Walmart or Publix. We're using the extra firm organic tofu. And what this says to do is, I've already taken some out for this recipe. You take out your block of tofu, but it might be in quite a bit of liquid. So I cut my wrapper open like this, and I turn it upside down in the sink, and I drain it out. And then I pull my block out. And then I put it on a paper towel and dab it, just to get the extra moisture out of there. So that's what we have here. This is our tofu crumbled up. So I want to show you how to crumble it up. It's actually kind of fun to do if you have kids or grandkids. If they like to do really fun tactile things. So you take your tofu, and it says to crumble it up. I'll just show you with a small piece of this. I just take it and squish it in my fingers like that. And it crumbles up really nicely. So that's how you crumble up the tofu. So we're going to fix it over the hot stove now. Okay. So it says to use 1 tablespoon of olive, grapeseed, or avocado oil. I have olive oil, so we use about a tablespoon there. And then we're going to put in, it recommends to use, this is under the optional ingredients, and this is what I use every time. I love onions. It says to use red or green onions. I have white that I'm going to put in there, some white onions and some green onions. One thing that you want to remember when you're cooking dishes like this is not only the taste, but the presentation. So if I cooked all this and they're all basically the same color, it's going to taste really good. But to have a variety of colors in there just makes it a lot more appealing. And I really like green onions too. So we're going to let that get nice and warm. And it also says, back on the left side of your recipe, it says 2 garlic cloves. So I minced my garlic, have about 2 tablespoons of that in there. And so we're going to brown this up a little bit. We're going to saute it a little bit, caramelize the onions a bit. And while we're waiting for that to warm up a bit, I'd like to invite you all to a health fair that the Better Living Community Center is going to be involved in at the Lake Placid Advent Health Hospital. It's not this Saturday, but the next Saturday, the 27th, and that's from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. We're going to have a table. It's going to be under a big tent. A lot of different folks are going to be there representing their businesses. But, you know, we're a community center, and we love to serve the community. We're going to have medical staff there. And so if you'd like to come for a health screening, talk to some medical staff about concerns you might have. We also have gifts that we're giving out. It's all free. So we love to invite you to come by, and you'll see our table there under the big tent. If you have any other questions, yes, Darren? It's at the Lake Placid Advent Health Hospital. In the front parking lot or in the lawn? In the front. Up in the front. You can't miss it. This is going to be on the 27th. So not this Saturday, but next Saturday. 2 to 5 o'clock. We'd love to see you there. A lot of us will be there. Okay, so we're sauteing these up a little bit. We want to caramelize our onions, at least get them transparent. Give it another minute or so. And I do want to say that the ingredients that are on here, this is, I would say, the basics. If you see something in your fridge that you want to add into this, play with it. Because sometimes I'll grate a carrot. I'll put grated carrots in there. It's beautiful coloring. Anything that's savory. You want to put some peppers in there and spice it up a little bit. That would be awesome too. Okay, so we've got our tofu. Just going to put our tofu right in there. Now, the really cool thing about tofu is that it basically picks up whatever flavors it's being cooked with. So we're making a savory dish with the tofu now. So tofu basically has no flavor. So we're going to be adding the flavors. I'm going to incorporate this in a bit. We're going to let that heat up again. And in the meantime, we're going to add in, I love bell peppers. I got these are the little bell peppers that comes in. I see them a lot in the little packages in the produce section in Publix and Walmart. And the color is beautiful, and it gives it a nice, not hot flavor, but just a little bit spicy. And that's nice. Okay. Let's go in order here. Let's see. Okay. We're going to put in a 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast flakes. Does anybody have any questions about what are nutritional yeast flakes? Are we all pretty up on that? Shelley? I'm deferring this to Shelley.
I know for nutritional yeast flakes, it's very rich in vitamin, or the B12 vitamin. So if you're vegetarian and you don't eat a lot of meat, you need to replenish your B12. And nutritional yeast is that way. So it's zero fat. Well, let's see, 1 and 2 tablespoons is only 40 calories. And sodium is 20 milligrams. Carbohydrate is 3, and of that carbohydrate, 2 grams is dietary fiber, which is good for you. So it gives you a cheesy flavor, and then it gives a lot of, it's very rich in the B vitamins, and especially the B12. So some people sprinkle it on their popcorn after it's popped. If you've gotten cheese recipes, they usually put it in there. I put it in my veggie patties, my oat and pecan patties. It gives things like a cheesy flavor, but also it can substitute as like a beef flavor as well. But it's very nutrition, and it turns, blah tofu flavor into a better flavor. So you can, well, we've got this at our store, but I know I've seen it at Publix. Yeah. This one's called Bragg's Nutritional Yeast, but there might be a Bob's Red Mill nutritional yeast as well. So sometimes a lot of these unique ingredients you have to look up very high. Look up on the high shelves, because the marketers, they want you to look straight ahead and then just grab. But if you're looking for something specific, reach up high, look up high. Yeah.
Thank you, Shelley.
You're welcome.
Okay. So have you noticed I haven't put any salt in this yet? And I'm not going to add any table salt to this. It does call for 2 tablespoons of a chicken style seasoning. And so I'm going to be using this. This is McKay's. It says it's a vegan special. This doesn't have any MSG or, let me see. There's no MSG, it's gluten-free, non-dairy, non-GMO. So this is, it's pretty good. It does have dextrose salt in it, so that's why I'm not going to add extra salt. Potato flour, pure vegetable oil, turmeric, onion powder, garlic powder, sunflower, lecithin, herbs. So I know that we do have this in our store as well. Do you know where else we can get this?
Food for Thought may have it.
Mm-hmm.
But
You can.
we get it here. We have a little kind of like pantry in the other building where we have some of this unique food that some that you don't find in Publix or some other stores. So for our particular membership.
When is that open?
Probably by appointment only, but I can open it up so you can take a peek in there and see what we've got.
There's no chicken in it, but
No chicken.
I use it a lot. And it does have chicken, I would say imitation chicken flavor, but it's, the ingredients are basic, but it has a really good flavor. And it does remind me a lot of like a chicken bouillon, or if you were to add some chicken broth. So, and it really starts to add flavor to this and make it more robust. And speaking of robust, see here on your recipe, it calls for some black salt on the right-hand side toward the top. It's the second one. I don't have any black salt, but I will show you what I do use in this dish. It's liquid aminos, and you can also find this in the store. This is made from soybeans, and I just use a splash because it is salty. So again, this won't be a salty dish when we're done though, because I just use a splash. But it gives it a robust flavor. We're just getting closer and closer to yummy scrambled eggs. So it's not quite looking like scrambled eggs in my mind yet. So we have one more ingredient, and that's turmeric. And I've been told that turmeric is good for inflammation. And it's many other things. But this will also turn our eggs a beautiful, more toward the yellow color that we're used to. Do you see it transforming? And as it incorporates in there for a few minutes, it'll turn more and more beautiful yellow. And so you just this is all you do. You just continue to stir this around a bit, and you can make it as dry or as moist as you want. If you like these a little bit drier, you can cook them a little bit longer, but that's it. Any questions? This goes really, really well with Shelley's waffles. Okay.
Do you have time for yours? Okay. Okay.
Can I help you, Denise? Okay, so we are going to complete the second part of the recipe of the chia pudding. Okay, so like I said before, so we left the preparation and the mix of the chia pudding for 10 minutes in the refrigerator. And then now we're gonna whisk a little bit more. And you can see, I don't know how much they can see on the TV, if you can notice that the consistency of the mix has changed. It looks already thicker, it looks already creamier, and what is happening is that the seeds are absorbing all the almond milk. So, and that's why it becomes, you can even see that even the volume of the mix is different. It's kind of like erased, just like the bread. So, when you stir up the mix, you just have to do it for a few more minutes. And I just want to show you here one more time. You see how thick it looks already? So it's already getting that pudding consistency. So the magic of the recipe is when we leave this recipe for the next few hours, like I said before, 3 to 5 minutes, 3 to 5 hours in the refrigerator, because it becomes even thicker and even more creamier. And it just has that, and then the agave nectar, it gets infused inside the chia seeds, and that's what makes the magic of this recipe. So at this point, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna add these toppings, which you can add them at the very end of the recipe, like once you get the recipe out of the refrigerator. So just for presentation purposes, I'm just gonna add some nuts. And then some strawberries. But you can definitely add and make all kinds of combinations for this recipe. You can use all kinds of nuts, all kinds of fruits. And this is just a little sample of what you guys are gonna receive today, that you're gonna taste today. And another thing about this recipe is that it's such a go-to, a solve problem recipe, because if you prepare this the night before, you do not have to worry about breakfast in the morning. Since the topic is about breakfast, you prepare this at night. Some people, they use the mason jars, they make the mix, they leave it overnight, and in the morning, they just open the refrigerator, and they are ready to go for the day. So it's definitely not just a simple recipe, but it's extremely nutritious. And that's the end of the presentation. Thank you. Yep, yes, you can use any kind of fruit. Mm-hmm.